This might be another one of these rants that I do. It might be a rant, but I don't know, bro. It's two things that I want to talk about, but they kind of intertwine, bro. I gotta hurry up. I gotta go to work, but they intertwine. First thing I'm gonna say is, bro, don't envy the guy that's like always challenging you, or the guy that triggers you. That's probably a better word. The guy that triggers you, like meaning like whoever it is within your friend group or somebody in your social circle, someone you hang out with. He's always triggering you, and he's always challenging the way you think, your ideologies, or trying to make you change the way you behave. Don't envy him. And I might be a hypocrite. I'm gonna go ahead and say this now. I might be a hypocrite saying this, but it's all a process, bro. This is all a journey. But don't hate that dude. And I'm saying don't hate him because he's probably the one that's probably going to save your life, bro. And when I say save your life, don't, like, I know how some of y'all are. Don't think of it in a weird way, like he your savior or he gonna bring you to Jesus or something. He might, but I'm talking about in a way like, or he's probably gonna be the most help to you ever, because like, who wants to be around a fucking, like, a yes man? Someone that agrees with everything you say. Or someone that anytime you say something, they never hold you accountable to it. Or they never say anything. Like, they just let you do all that bullshit and all that talking you be doing. And, like, they just okay with you doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, when I started listening to Eric Thomas, and I'm talking about really started listening to Eric Thomas, and if I'm gonna put y'all on game, I'm sure a lot of y'all already know who Eric Thomas is, but if you don't, he's the #1 motivational speaker in the world. Now, I'm not telling you to listen to him for motivation. I don't listen to his motivational speeches. I listen to some of them, but not all of them. But if you really want some game, bro, he has a podcast. It's called The Secret to Success, and it's a podcast with him and like 3 other guys, and these are the guys that helped him come up and build his company. A lot of people don't know Eric Thomas wouldn't be who he is without his circle, without his friend group. And when I started really listening to Eric Thomas, I say the most important things I learned from Eric Thomas was, it's called like self-assessing, or self-assessing, or maybe you could say self-accountability, or like a better way of saying it's just looking yourself in the mirror. Eric Thomas used to always talk about how his life didn't change until he decided to look at himself in the mirror and confront everything that was going on in his life, and he noticed that everything that happened to him was nobody else's fault. If you don't know, Eric Thomas used to be homeless. He left his parents' house at a young age, and he had this like victim mentality that where he was at in life, or the reason he was homeless was because of his mother, or because his father was never in his life. And Eric Thomas was homeless for a majority of his childhood, or a good bit of his childhood. And this guy said he was never able to come out of that state until he was able to look at himself in the mirror and said, okay, this is my fault. So the reason I say this, and the reason I go back to saying, like, don't envy the guy that challenges you, or don't envy the guy that makes you look at yourself in the mirror and be like, bro, like, I just be shit talking. Like, I just be talking. Like, for a lot of people, for the people that do know me, man, or the people that know me in like a real like intimate level, they know that my biggest pet peeve, bro, is people that just be talking. And this includes myself, bro. Like, I don't want to be a hypocrite. Like, the most, like, the quickest way to get me in a really, like, for me to be in a really sad or down state is when I have said something and I realized I didn't live up to it. And sometimes I overdo it, meaning like you set a goal that's like, I mean, nothing's unachievable, but like sometimes you overdo it. But yeah, like when I say I'm gonna do something and I don't do it, it crushes me, because I have to go back home, or I have to go back and look at myself in the mirror and be like, dang, you're not a man of your word. Or like, dang, you're okay with lying to yourself. Who else are you gonna lie to? If you're okay with lying to yourself, really think about this. Like, who else are you okay with lying to? You can't even be true to yourself, your own person. So that was probably the biggest lesson I learned from Eric Thomas. Eric Thomas was like, bro, I had to look at myself in the mirror, because here's the reason why you have to do this. If you have a victim mentality, you'll never be able to come out of it. Because once you have a victim mentality, it's always someone else's fault. You can't do anything about something else. You can't do anything about something that someone else did. Y'all get that? Like, if it's someone else's fault, there's nothing you can do. Like, does that make sense? So, like, if there's something that's going on in your life or whatever, and you feel like it's someone else's fault, you gotta understand, like, the only way that circumstance is gonna change, or that problem, or whatever it is, the only way it's gonna change is because, the only way it's gonna change is if that person changes whatever they're doing that's making it affect you. So the reason why it's so important that you look at yourself in the mirror and take accountability for self is because you can't change what anybody else is doing, but you could change you. You could decide to change the trajectory of your life. You could try to change your lifestyle. You could try to do something when it's your fault. And especially as a man, bro, like, this goes for everybody, but bro, as a man, bro, dude, Andrew Tate says this. Andrew Tate says this shit all the time. And people can say what they want, but I like Andrew Tate, bro. Bruh, Andrew Tate says, as a man, everything in this world is your fault. Bruh, and it's I feel like it's such a good mentality to have, bro, because, like, you gotta understand, bro, when something is someone else's fault, bruh, there's nothing you can do about it. There's literally nothing you can do about it. Just think about it. If there's something going on and you feel like it's someone else's fault, bro, you can't do nothing about it. You could only change your life. You could only change something that's going on with you. If it's somebody else's fault, bro, you can't. There's nothing you're gonna be able to. There's nothing you could possibly do to change that, because it's someone else's fault. So, for all my fellas, bro, all the guys, bro, really don't envy that guy, bro, that calls you out on your bullshit. That's the friends you need the most. The one that's always agreeing with the shit that you say, the one that's never challenging what you say, bro, you don't need that nigga. You already have your brain in your mind telling you a bunch of shit that's not true, a bunch of negative shit, a bunch of stuff that don't even align with who you want to become. You don't need another person on your team telling you stuff like that, bro. You don't. You absolutely do not. So, bro, you need to embrace him. You need to embrace him. You need to try to get around him more, bro. And that was something that it didn't take me a long time to realize, because I've always wanted to be around the person that was better, that was always thinking about getting better, or just improving, or just challenging. It's just, and I was just talking about this with my girlfriend. It's just, sometimes your ego doesn't allow you to, like, when somebody says something to you that triggers you, or that touches you in that way, it's a natural human instinct to push back, you know, to not like what they said, to want to combat. I do that shit all the time, arguing with my girlfriend. I'm combative, and then it's just like, bro, dang, she's calling me out on my shit of something I actually do. So I don't know, this was probably longer than it needed to be, but don't envy that nigga, bro. Don't hate him. Give him grace, because he's only looking out for your best interest. He's literally only looking out for your best interest. So yeah, bro. Look at the drip for today. Christmas vibes. You know. Yeah.